Hello, everyone. It's that time again. It's time for another. This is Commentary with Ozzy Rose. Hello, everyone. I'm Mr. Ozzy Rose. I hope everyone's having a great day on this cloudy, rainy day, but not so windy. I'm having a great day as well. Y'all know me. I usually don't complain. The topic for this commentary segment is laugh. That's right, the laugh. When I was down in the treatment center, Arrest Health, down in Searcy, there was this kid named Eddie was in there, and Eddie didn't let nothing get to him. He really didn't. He told me, he goes, "You got to laugh a little," and I totally agreed with him. I said, "Yeah." I said, "If you're serious all the time and you're not laughing some, it's gonna cause you some troubles." He said, "Right on." And there was this guy though that come in there named John, and just to put it mildly, John's brains was just completely fried, and he got on everyone's nerves. He pissed the staff off. He pissed all us guys off. Even Eric asked me, he goes, "How can you not keep from getting mad at him?" I said, "Eric, it wouldn't register with him." I said, "He's like a 5-year-old. I said, "His brains are cooked. It wouldn't register." But at night, see, we had our separate rooms to go to. And John's room was right across the hall from me, straight across. And his room, though, was right next to Eddie's. Eddie didn't like him because he kept Eddie up all night talking to people that wasn't even in the room with him all night long. And Eddie wouldn't didn't say nothing much to him, but when John started running his mouth, Eddie would say, "Shut up, fool," and that was Eddie's way of, because Eddie didn't let nothing get to him. Eddie didn't get mad, but he did not like John because John would talk all night in his room to people that was not in there. And I would hear him, but it wouldn't keep me awake, and I went to sleep, but it'd keep Eddie awake all night. But, I'd laugh at Eddie when Eddie would tell him, "Shut up, fool," and sometimes John would shut up, sometimes he would, But that was the thing with John, he couldn't help it, but his brains was completely fried. John was older than me. I think John was middle 60s, But, man, he would make every one of the staff members mad at him, too, And to show you what happened, John wanted out of there. So the staff let him out. Then he turned around and wanted to come back in. They'd done locked the door, and they wasn't going to let him back in. So that's how John got rid of himself, But I mean, most of the time I did laugh at John, I did because he had the mind of like a 5 or 6-year-old kid. When a lot of the other ones wouldn't laugh at him, Eric didn't care for him. I mean, I didn't much care for him, but I mean, I didn't get really mad at him because I knew it really wouldn't do no good. I more or less laughed at him than anything. The only time John, to show you how he was, the only time John was calm, not pissing anybody off, is when he was using them Crayola magic markers and doing artwork, and he was good at that. I'll give John that. He was good at that, But, Eddie was right. I mean, I've had a few people here, I strut all over Jonesboro. I've had, people, some people say, "Well, they're laughing at you." I said, "Well, good. I'm glad that they are laughing at me." I said, if I see myself on video strutting, I'm laughing at me too, because my body's going in one direction and my tits are going in another. So I said, I laugh at me too. So, I mean, and I do, I'm not telling no lies there, So, I tend to believe this. I know we're known as the most violent country in the world for assaults, rapes, murders, but it would be nice someday if they could say, if people in other countries could say, "Well, they used to be known as the most violent country in the world, but now they're the most laughing and most loving country in the world." Do I think we'll ever do that? I don't think so. I guess I always kind of have hope for that. Nothing wrong with having hope. I mean, if you don't have hope, you really don't have too much. I guess you can have money and material things, but you don't have hope for something, or stand for something. You'll fall for anything, that's for sure. But that's the way I like my life. That's like on my live show. More than not, me and my guests, I have usually the same guest on, Miss Jamie and her husband, and Daniel and his wife, and usually we're laughing and cutting up on there and having a good time. And that's what I love about my live show, is that we're all laughing, getting along, having a good time on there. It's an hour or less every night. I'll be glad when my friend Scott can come back over to the Facebook Live show. He was on my TikTok Live. But that's a great show when everybody's cutting up, having a good time, laughing, joking, kidding around. I had some uncles that was real comical. They could really make you laugh. I had one in particular. That's all he done. I used to think back when he was alive that if he could have went around doing stand-up comedy, he would have made a lot of money. He was really that good, you know. I never was really that good at telling jokes and stuff like that, but he was definitely really good at it. That's how he lived his life, was laughing. He didn't get depressed. He didn't. And now there was times that you could make him angry, but the thing about it was with him is he might say something to you about that, but then he was over it just as soon as he got that way. I'm more or less like that now. Used to, I wouldn't. If you made me mad, I stayed mad at you, but I don't do that anymore. You know, that's where I lost the battle. You know, so you can make me mad, yeah, and I'll get mad at you, but about as soon as I get mad at you, I'm over it about as quickly. You know, so. But I do truly laugh at myself when I see myself on video, because it is funny to me. I see a 58-year-old man, his body is going in all different directions and his tits are going in one direction. So it is kind of funny to me, you know, and it truly is. So when there's some that say, well, they're laughing at you, well, I'm glad that who they're referred to as people are laughing at me. That means I'm doing my job, you know. So it'd be different if people just hated it, you know, but I mean, I laugh at me too, you know. I mean, this is how I am. I'm not a serious guy until I have to get serious, if you know what I mean. I'd rather joke and kid around and have a good time and just be seriously funny. But when I have to be serious, then I am, of course. But when I don't have to be, I'd rather just be seriously funny. That's the way I look at me now, today. You know, there's other people that are like that too, that rather be seriously funny. Then there's some that are just serious all the time, and for whatever their reasons are, they may have good reasons for it. I don't know. You know, I know my most favorite comedian, hands down, stand-up comedian, was Richard Pryor. And he was my favorite of all time. The thing about Richard was, he would tell you true life things that happened to him, and that was really bad. But it was the way he told it to you that made you laugh, you know. So that's why I will always say Richard Pryor was my #1 stand-up comic. There was a lot of other ones I liked too, Robin Williams, a bunch of them, you know. But Richard will always go down as my favorite. You know, he had some really terrible things, and then, but it was the way he told it to you when he was on stage that really made you laugh, you know. So, but yeah, I mean, laughter is better any day than anger, I would think, and sadness. You know, I don't know about all of you, but if you had one to pick from out of the three that you would rather have the rest of your life, would it be sadness, anger, or laughter? I would tend to believe you'd pick laughter. I mean, I didn't laugh for 50 years. I really didn't. You know, so today I laugh. I enjoy life. I stop and smell the roses, so to speak, and I have a lot of fun every day, you know, and I laugh now today because 50 years I was sad. Today I laugh and have a great time and really enjoy myself and enjoy everything and love everything that I'm doing. So I tend to believe this too, folks. Laughter brings love. That's what I truly believe. It don't bring negativity or anger. I don't believe laughter brings sadness either. So, you know, for me, I'm loving life. I'm living my best life, and I'm laughing. And that's a great thing as far as I go. And I hope it is for you too. Well, anyways, this is going to be about a wrap for today's commentary segment, if I can say it right. And the topic was laugh. And if you're sad or angry in your life, I hope that you can laugh sometime. I'm Mr. Ozzy Rose. I hope everyone has a great evening. God bless you all. And we'll see you for the next commentary segment. So long, everybody.